Hello and welcome to Tuchopini. Let's take our time and work through question 1 together. This whole question is really one story. As we move across period 3 from magnesium to chlorine, the atoms get smaller, they hold their electrons more tightly, and they slowly change from metals into non-metals. Keep that trend in mind, and every part falls into place. First, why does the atomic radius get smaller from magnesium to chlorine? Here are the 6 atoms drawn to scale. Notice how each one is smaller than the one before it. The reason is this. As we go across, we keep adding protons to the nucleus, so the nuclear charge increases from 12 plus up to 17 plus. But the electrons are still going into the same energy level, the same shell, so the stronger positive nucleus pulls the outer electrons in more tightly, and the atom shrinks. So for the mark. The nuclear charge increases while the electrons fill the same shell. So the outer electrons are pulled closer and the radius decreases. Next, ionization energy. That's the energy needed to pull the outermost electron off an atom. Watch the general trend as the bars grow. Overall, it climbs from magnesium to chlorine. It follows straight from what we just learned. The atom is getting smaller and the nuclear charge is getting bigger, so the outer electron is held more strongly. That means more energy is needed to remove it. Don't worry about the small dips at aluminium and sulfur. KCSE only wants the overall rising trend. So, smaller radius and greater nuclear charge means the electron is held more strongly, so ionization energy increases. Now melting points, in terms of structure and bonding. Both magnesium and aluminium are metals, so they have a giant metallic structure. Positive ions sitting in a sea of delocalized electrons. Here's the key difference. Each magnesium atom releases 2 outer electrons into that sea, but each aluminium atom releases 3. So, aluminium has ions with a higher charge and a denser electron sea. That gives stronger metallic bonds, and stronger bonds need more heat to break. So, aluminium melts at a higher temperature. So, aluminium has 3 delocalized electrons per atom against magnesium's 2, giving stronger metallic bonds and a higher melting point. Phosphorus and chlorine are different. They are simple molecular substances. Phosphorus exists as P4, a big molecule of 4 atoms, shown here as a tetrahedron. Chlorine exists as Cl2, just a small pair of atoms. When these melt, we are not breaking the strong covalent bonds inside the molecules. We only break the weak forces between the molecules, the van der Waals forces. The bigger, heavier P4 molecule has many more electrons, so its van der Waals forces are stronger than in the little chlorine molecule. Stronger forces, higher melting point. So the larger P4 molecule has stronger van der Waals forces between molecules than small chlorine, so it melts higher. Part C asks for the oxides and whether they are acidic or basic. There's a lovely trend here too. On the left, the metal oxides are basic. On the far right, the non-metal oxides are acidic. And right in the middle, aluminium oxide is amphoteric. It behaves as both. So, magnesium gives MgO, which is basic. Aluminium gives aluminium oxide, Al2O3, which is amphoteric. Silicon gives silicon dioxide, SiO2, which is acidic. And phosphorus gives P4O10, also acidic. Part D. Sulfur forms the chloride S2Cl2. Its structure is a little chain: chlorine, sulfur, sulfur, chlorine. Sulfur and chlorine are both non-metals, so they bond by sharing pairs of electrons. That means the bonding is covalent. So for part 1, the bond type is covalent. Part 2, the oxidation number of sulfur. Let sulfur be X. Chlorine is always -1, and the molecule is neutral, so everything adds to 0. We have 2 sulfurs and 2 chlorines. 2x plus 2 times -1 equals 0. That gives 2x equals +2. Divide by 2 and x equals +1. So the oxidation number of sulfur in this chloride is +1. Part E. Silicon tetrachloride fumes in air because it reacts with the moisture, the water vapor, in the air. Let's write the balanced equation. Silicon tetrachloride, a liquid, plus 2 waters, gives silicon dioxide, a solid, plus 4 molecules of hydrogen chloride gas. That escaping hydrogen chloride gas is the white fumes. Always check it balances. 1 silicon, 4 chlorines, 4 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens on each side. Perfectly balanced, with the state symbols included for the full mark. Finally, Part 5. Silicon is a metalloid. A metalloid is simply an element that shows both metallic and non-metallic properties. It sits right on the border between the two. And one important use of silicon as a metalloid is in making semiconductors, the computer chips, transistors, and solar cells that power our electronics. And that's question 1 complete. All 13 marks. Notice how every single part came from one idea, the nuclear charge rising across period 3. Well done for working through it with me. Remember to subscribe to Tuchopini, and I'll see you in the next question.